The bad news is it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting here in a hotel room in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm doing this video report for you. The good news is it's 96 degrees here at 3 o'clock in the morning in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm not back on the East Coast where I believe Noah has relocated his ark here over the past couple of days, because it's making handicapping baseball pretty damn difficult, since I think rain is going to affect every single game on the East Coast from Atlanta clear up to Boston today. But let's talk about who's hot here at the site for Saturday's card. And that, frankly, would be me, because I won again on Friday. Thursday, I told you the baseball card really was just dreadful. So I dipped my toes into the NFL Preseason and gave you a 5-dime winner, my first of this preseason campaign, on the Green Bay Packers, who obliterated the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Friday, I was back on the diamond, and I delivered with my favorite team this baseball season, and why not, as they're running away with the best record on the diamond, and that was the Boston Red Sox, who fell down early 3-0 in the first inning against Tampa Bay. I had them on the run line, and naturally they won the game 7-3 as a $1.05 dog, laying the 1.5 runs, and it was yet another 20-dime raise the bar release. Well, today I have yet another 20-dime raise the bar release. In fact, this is going to be raise the bar 20-dime winner number 16 out of 21, dating back to 4 Fridays ago. And just like the Red Sox on Friday night, today, as I go for winning day number 35 out of 50, you get it as the half price play of the day, simply by using coupon code RAISE, R-A-I-S-E, as it's one of the featured plays on today's card. Also on the early card, Steve Budin's Cali Cardell, 50-dime winner number 17 out of 27. Over the past 8 weeks, it's his NFL early bankroll builder on the game at 1 o'clock Eastern Time between the Jaguars and the Vikings. You get it at a savings of $77, which means you get it for $22. 105 and 82 roll with 50-dime plays in football, including a play today that matches their 50-dime winner on the Eagles in the Super Bowl. That's how strong it is. You get it for $22. The savings is $77 by using coupon code CALI22, C-A-L-I 22. All your other discounts and promos will be available over on the home page. So with that being said, we'll get to your complimentary plays in just a moment. But on this day in history, a couple of interesting tidbits for you. In the sporting world, of course, Larry Bird announcing his retirement on this day in 1992. In the world of entertainment, Robert Redford turning 82 today. Patrick Swayze, deceased but born this day in 1952. And listen, who can't watch Roadhouse, at least for a couple minutes, every single time it's on some cable TV channel? You admit it, you have to stop and at least watch a couple of minutes of that film. It's a cult favorite, am I not right? In the music world, on this day in 1979, disco, almost dead, almost the final nail in its coffin, but for one more single week, it lived, unfortunately. Chic's Good Time hits number 1. Yes, Good Times. Remember by Chic, Nile Rodgers and Chic hits number 1 on the Billboard Top 100 charts, ending Donna Summer's 5-week run at the top of the chart with Bad Girls. But the good times would only last one single week for Chic, because then, a week from today, the Knacks, My Sharona, ascended to the number 1 position on the charts to start a 6-week run at the top, the longest such run by any song in 1969 on the Billboard, or 1979 on the Billboard Top 100 charts. Also on this day in the music world, 1962. I told you about this earlier in the week. Today is the day that Ringo Starr made his debut as the Beatles drummer. And then finally, 1969. This is the day Woodstock came to an end. And how did it come to an end? Jimi Hendrix playing a morning performance, closing Woodstock with a 2-hour set. He was the festival headliner. He was originally scheduled to play the night before, but because of technical issues, because of inclement weather, his performance was pushed back. The festival organizers gave him the option of playing either at midnight or playing the next morning. He opted to play in the morning. So he opted for that morning performance, and he closed the festival with a 2-hour performance. Of course, the final song was Hey Joe, but what he is most known for in that 2-hour set was, of course, a medley that included in a 30-minute medley his version of the Star Spangled Banner. But where a lot of people are mistaken is it's not the first time he played the Star Spangled Banner. It's perhaps the most noted performance of the Star Spangled Banner, but there had already been 28 live versions on recorded versions of the Star Spangled Banner by Hendrix by the time he had played Woodstock. But clearly this is the version that electrified, I want to say is a damn good word, was the electrified version that everybody just was really caught everybody's attention. It's the most iconic, without a doubt. The crowd at this point, though, really had thinned out. At one point at Woodstock, there was over 500,000. By the time Hendrix took the stage, there was only about 200,000 fans in attendance. And by the time his set ended, there was probably even less than that because everybody was already heading back to school, departing the grounds. But again, this is how Woodstock ended on this day in 1969. So with that being said, let's get going here and take a look at your complimentary plays, which, listen, I'm going to give you a couple of complimentary plays, but I can't guarantee you these games are even going to be played. For example, last night I gave you a complimentary play on the Yankees on the run line. Well, it was a great play. Problem is, it was a scratch play because the game didn't go the whole 9 innings. So even though the Yankees won the game by a couple of runs, it didn't count in terms of a betting perspective because it was a run line play and they got to go the entire 9 innings. So I'm going to come back with the Yankees on the run line today, but it's going to, matter of fact, I think it's raining right now as I do this video report at 6 a.m. Eastern time in the Bronx, and it's going to rain most of the afternoon. They should get the game started, but I can't guarantee they're going to be able to get the game finished. But I do like the Yankees minus $1.35, laying the 1.5 runs here on this afternoon contest. Now, Luis Severino has not pitched well. He has really been in a slump, as you probably are well aware. 2-4 with a 7.50 earned run average in his last 7 starts with 11 home runs allowed in that stretch. Monday against the Mets, pitching at home, he had his shortest stint of the entire season, giving up 4 runs and 4 innings in which he needed 98 pitches to get through. He's never pitched well against Toronto. Well, let me amend that statement. He has a career earned run average of 4.25, okay, in 10 outings, 9 of them starts. But I will say, his last 4 starts, he's 3-0 with a 2.19 earned run average against the Blue Jays. Now, New York has dominated the series, 10-4 this year in the season series. New York 43-20 at home, although only 5-4 on this current homestand. But Toronto's lost 8 of their last 12. Toronto's going with Sean Reed-Foley, who just made his Major League debut with 5 innings and a loss at Kansas City on Monday, I think it was. I mean, it was a respectable outing. 5 innings, 97 pitches, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 3. But this is a guy who started the season in Double-A, moved up to Triple-A, and in 23 starts at those 2 levels, he had a 2.98 earned run average. So they definitely fast-tracked him up. I just think that Severino has just been in a slump, obviously. He's too damn good of a pitcher, especially pitching in the Bronx, to continue in this type of slump. And I just like the Yankees to win this game if they can get the game played. So I like the Yankees in this particular spot. In football today, lost the football play last night on the Cleveland Browns. The offense, so dynamic the week before against the Giants, so lost yesterday. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos, minus the 3 points tonight at home against the Chicago, I almost said the Chicago Bulls, the Chicago Bears. These 2 teams held joint practices in Denver on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, Denver looked so pathetic last week against Minnesota at home, losing 42-28, a game in which they fell behind 17-0. Listen, first week preseason game, you never know what's going to happen. Now, this is the 3rd game, of course, for the Bears, as they also played the Hall of Fame game. I think that you're going to see Case Keenum, who only played 1 series, was 1 for 4 for 5 yards, get a little more action. You're going to see Chad Kelly, who played very well as the 3rd stringer last week and supplanted Paxton Lynch as the 2nd stringer for this game, and is being given a chance to really earn that backup job now for the Broncos. He played well, 14 for 21, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, as opposed to Paxton Lynch, who was 6 for 11, 24 yards, 1 interception last week. So In terms of Chicago, they had 430 yards total offense last week with that up-tempo attack they are running. But, of course, Mitch Trubinsky only played one series. Their top running backs, Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen, didn't carry the ball yet. Allen Robinson is yet to play, so I think you're going to see the Bears try to get some of their starters in there for at least a quarter here tonight. But Chase Daniel and Tyler Bray were very effective. They were combined 26 for 39 last week for almost 300 and some yards, but no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But again, I think this is a situation here tonight that the Broncos with Vance Joseph, they've got to show some offensive improvement. So I like Denver in this particular spot. On the early afternoon game, you have a situation where the Vikings and the Jaguars are two teams that also had joint practices this week. Minnesota, of course, won 42-28 at Denver, up 14-0 at the end of one quarter, up 24-14 at halftime. Kirk Cousins, effective in his brief appearance, 4 for 4, 42 yards. Trevor Siemian against his old mates, the Broncos, had one of those show-me games, 11 for 17, 166 yards. Minnesota has just been a dynamic team under Mike Zimmer in the preseason, going 14-4 straight up, 13-5 against the spread. Jacksonville, meanwhile, lost 24-20 at home to New Orleans. Jacksonville allowed the Saints to score 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win that game. Now, Blake Bortles, the one series he played, led the Jaguars on a 15-possession, 79-yard series to a touchdown, 6 for 9, 53 yards. He's obviously going to play a little more tonight. But Cody Kessler, the ex-Brown, was very effective, 14 for 17, 139 yards. But remember, he was playing against scrubs for most of that game, okay? I just like the Vikings here in their home opener, having the advantage of practicing against this team the past couple of weeks. I would go with the Vikings in this spot, with both the Vikings and the Broncos with these lines at 4 and 3 respectively. I'm obviously buying down the half point in both games because I always buy down the half point if I'm laying between 3 and 4.5 points. Conversely, if I'm getting an underdog at 2.5 to 4 points, I'm buying up the half point in those situations. So again, I'm hoping the Yankees on the run line don't get rained out. I like the Vikings and Broncos as well, 2 home favorites, and I'm buying down the half point in both situations. Those are your complimentary plays for Saturday, and let's pray that the rain holds off in baseball. Good luck, everybody. I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this.